Contact with the wall, and wonder if we'll see right here if something else might have started that contact.
Oh, he got a little bit of a tap from behind.
Yeah.
Turned him straight in the fence.
Yeah, you know, this is part of the buck drafting that goes on here. And I think this is just a product of that.
Top of 2 now. Top of 3 again.
It looked like a pretty straight bump, but it turned Jason Leffler.
The 2 car and the 27 of Ward Burton.
Just a light tap there, but these cars have so little downforce on this kind of racetrack, and they're kind of they're making a pretty good turn right through the tri-oval too. And
yeah.
once they make contact,
yeah, you don't realize just how much, in looking at this racetrack, how much steering you have in the car through the tri-oval, and it doesn't take much. And it looked like Ward, there's a seam right there in the racetrack where, after this was repaved, when you're right down against the yellow line and you get to that first white line, there's a seam right there, and actually your car will get in that, and it'll actually move one way or the other. And it looks like maybe Ward's right front got in there and went up the racetrack just a little bit. I'm just guessing that happened because I've had it happen in my car before.
Here's Martin Truex onboard camera. He goes up and he boom!
He hit the wall, guys.
Oh, he hit the wall pretty hard, DJ.
Yeah, we didn't see that as we were talking about the 29. Yeah, this looks like it's going to put an end to that streak.
Martin Truex, who had won 3 in a row, and now damage at the right side of that car after pancaking the wall. Here's Mike Wallace on board with the Geico Chevy.
Backer. Come on. Blue, that's it, go. You're clear.
Your screen in the 5 car.
He moved to the outside to go around Casey Mears. It looked like Tony was going to go out there to help him, and it could have possibly been a little bit of contact. Yeah, it doesn't always have to be, because you can get yourself out there and all of a sudden the air's changing, and just a horrific wreck. But once again, Kyle Busch gets out and walks away.
We sure did a lot of damage. But it looked to me like right here, as we watched this, it looked like that maybe they all started stacking up. It's hard to say that Tony Stewart wasn't getting some help from behind, or maybe even further back than right behind him. Like they were all just kind of stacking up.
Yeah, when that happens, usually because everything changes, the air changes, and what you've been doing right there, you might have been wide open at that time, and then all of a sudden things change. And so, you can't put any blame on anybody, I don't think, here. Although I think we do see a little contact between the 33 and the 5. But when he pulls out there, that car is automatically going to start coming back a little bit, because he's come out against a brick wall of wind right there. Even though he's got to run, that car automatically slows down when he pulls out there until he starts getting that help.
So if you're Tony Stewart and you're trying to get out of the gas and you're getting hit from behind, have you ever had that happen where you get hit from behind and you can't actually slow your car down and try to avoid that wreck?
Somewhat reminiscent of the Brian Vickers, Jimmy Johnson contact in the Cup race last fall. Inconsequential, wasn't intended to happen. One car makes a move, another one just gets a slight tap, and off they go. On board here with David Rudiman.
3 wide. Bracket, back it down. Stay high, good job.
Hey, you can see the tire.
David Gilliland, and here's what happened to him just a moment ago.
Well, it looked like David had thoughts. He had a push from the 33 car of Tony Stewart, and he had thoughts of going around Casey Mears, the leader, on the outside. But Tony was just basically faking him out and went to the inside, and then David tried to cover that spot, and just wasn't there for him to get back down.
Yeah, that's a risky move when you pull down in front of somebody that's coming like that. And, it might, especially at this point of the race, it might have been better just to stay up a lane than to risk something to get clipped. But this is a fairly aggressive move by Tony. He's kind of pushing him up through there and trying to go for that spot. And I think Dave Burns, you've got more on Tony Stewart.
That's right, Andy. Been monitoring his race.
A look here at the replay. See Biffle right in the middle of the racetrack there. We've got Carl Edwards coming up to him.
Oh, we see a big hard bump draft right there, and there was just too much closure rate. They were coming too fast into each other.
Yeah, and he was pushing him to the 42, and then the 16 car, Greg Biffle, couldn't go any further, and he got one more big shot, and that turned him to the right into the wall.
Biffle at 190 plus miles an hour with that Ford. Fusion comes across and just catches the right rear fender of John Wood. As we ride on board now with the 90 car of Stephen Light and see his point of view.
Go low here, bud. Go low. Good job, man. Good job. All right, talk to me when you get a chance. Just a little.
Oh, John Wood just can't catch it right. John Wood was.
Right side of your screen, watch the 20 car, and right behind him is Ward Burton as his car goes around and goes up across the racetrack. Great job by Bobby Labonte in the 77 to miss him, but he does have contact with the concrete.
Yeah, you could see as they were coming through the corner there that things were kind of stacking up. Everybody looked like they were kind of settling in for a few laps, single file down on the bottom, but they got to jamming up. And before it was over, Ward Burton was getting hit from behind, and then he got into the 20 car.
Clear high, clear high.
And that's another one of those cases to where it's really, I don't know that you can say it's anybody's fault. It's just everybody's running into each other. Mike Bliss in the 22 is behind Ward Burton, and they're all just hitting each other in the corner. And, I've said it many times before, if we're going to run into each other in the corners, things are probably going to happen.
On board here is the David Rudiman onboard camera for the Aaron Stream machine.
Stay low, stay low. All right, good job.
Well, how valuable are spotters?
Look in. He's up against the car right in front of him, who was Casey Kane, but he's still getting that push from behind because Reed Sorensen can't see that he's totally against that car, and that's where it just gets down to the end of this race, and we start. I say we do it in the Cup race too. You start running into each other and trying to help them get to the front as fast as you can.
Yeah, we heard Greg Biffle talking about it. That if you can't see through these race cars, so you can't tell what the guy in front of you is dealing with, and they just start stacking up. Can't really put the blame on one person here. It's just all kind of shared back through there.
Yeah, I'm sure Stephen, he's probably got a foot on the brake because he's right against the 9 car, but he's getting hit hard from behind, and then he just shoots him right out of the pack. We've been fortunate all day that we haven't really had very many cars involved in these accidents at a time, but we got down to the end when it was time to try to win, and people like Stephen Light, unfortunately, that weren't even a part of the beginning of this, get involved.
Well, at least a half a dozen cars.